Hi, and welcome to another episode of You Grievin. Today we're going to be doing something a little different, which is I'm in the cemetery, the Oakland Cemetery in Grant Park in Atlanta, and I'm going to answer the questions that I like to ask people and tell them to pick a number one through whatever. So today I'm going to be picking one. And I'm going to mix these up because, let's see. What would the title of their biopic be, and what actress would play them? I was afraid I was going to get this question, and I thought about it earlier this morning, and I have no idea. I think the title would be This Shit Is Getting Serious. Possibly. I'm talking about my sister. And I don't know what actress would play her. It has to be an actress that is well versed, she has to be talented. I don't know. I feel like Cynthia would do a good job, but they don't resemble, but she would do a good job with so many different emotions. And she's talented, but well, like creative. So I don't really know the answer to that question. Maybe Cynthia, and maybe this is getting serious. Let's see. What does your faith mean to you? My faith means everything to me. I'm not so much, I'm spiritual more than anything. And I let whatever is supposed to be in the universe guide me. Um, but I do have faith, and I do believe that things happen for a reason. I do believe that we're always where we're supposed to be, whether that's in an ER in a terrible emergency or that's getting the job of your dreams. I do believe everything happens for a reason. So my faith does mean everything to me because I use that daily throughout my life. What was their favorite movie? The Color Purple. Color Purple was her favorite movie. Bloop. I don't know how many times she watched it, but it was her favorite. What's this one? What lessons did I teach them? What did I teach her? Um, I don't know. Maybe I taught her unconditional love from a big brother. Maybe. Um, maybe I taught her just how to be patient. Maybe. Not sure. Certain things you'll never know, and you can guess, but you just won't know. What was their favorite food or meal? I would say for my sister, it was like a lasagna or any type of pasta. Definitely a cheeseburger. And I never really talk about my grandmother much. So my grandmother loved the cheeseburger and she loved her fried chicken. What I used to make her was red beans and rice with some ham hocks. She enjoyed that. Did you have the snot cry? Yes. But I only had the snot cry over one person. It was over my sister. But I definitely had the snot cry. And this question is in there because a future guest of mine, Tasha, Miss Stapleton, I remember I had went back to work and we were talking through things after my sister passed, and she was like, "Did you have the snot cry?" And I was like, "What is that?" She was like, "That's when you on the floor crying your heart out." So yes, I had the snot cry. Have you had the snot cry? Who and what, who or what helped you in the beginning of grief? In the beginning, it was it was family, but mainly because I didn't live with my mom. We weren't there day and night with each other. It was my best friend Melissa and my cousin Curtis and Lewis Rodriguez. Them two were there. They were there when I needed space. They were there when I didn't know what I needed. They were there when I just needed a hug. I could just call them to come give me a hug. It was beautiful. But they were there. And I had some other friends that were there when I needed to talk on the phone and say, Cece. Folks were there. Music. Music definitely helped me. I still was listening to a lot of Jill Scott. I was doing a lot of yoga, and I just did things that had me active. I rode my bike a lot. Those are some of the things that helped me. What did you keep from the clean out that you refused to discard of? Uh, it was her kitchen table. I decided to keep my sister's kitchen table. I remember we cleaned out her apartment, and I took her kitchen table and like random clothes, but I wasn't throwing that table away. However, I have thrown the table away now. It's been almost 5 years. But I was like, I'm using this table. I'm gonna keep it in my house and blah blah blah. But ultimately, the table, I didn't need the table. When is the last time I cried? I feel like I cried a few days ago. I'm always crying. I'm a big baby. I'm about to cry now. So I'm gonna put that away. Tell us about the end from your point of view. In this question, I know a lot of people answer it differently when I do ask it on the podcast, but it's about the end of life. Like, what do you think happens at the end of life? And sometimes I believe that it's truly just over and like you're in complete darkness and that is it. And then sometimes I believe your soul lives on and blah, blah, blah. But then I also, when I think of that, I believe us humans are selfish where we just don't want shit to be over. We just want things to keep going and going and going and going and going. And it would be nice if your spirit lived on. So if that is true, that's great. And if it's just completely over, that's great too. So, yeah. What is the name of your life soundtrack? I feel like my life soundtrack would be called Here We Go Again because I stay doing the same shit over and over again. I be trying to do the same job over again. Sometimes I make the same mistake about 10 times. It would be Here We Go Again. Here we go, going through the same thing. If you know, you know. What do you hope people understand about who she really was? I hope people, this is for two people, her and my grandmother. I hope people know that my grandmother was in the middle of the civil rights movement. I hope people know that my grandmother was around when she couldn't use, when the water fountains were labeled black or white. And I want people to know that she couldn't even get on the school bus. She had to walk. And the white kids would ride by her on the school bus and spit at her. She also experienced people disappearing, white men taking people, and these people never showed up again. But also, like, her life completely transitioned when she moved to Connecticut. She bought a house and had a husband, and her life was great. And she ended her life down here in Georgia, and she didn't really have to want for anything. She was a sweet old lady. She was very sweet. And my sister was a complicated woman. She was very smart. She knew how to do everything. And if she didn't, she would pull out a computer or a book and figure it the fuck out. She was talented. She could write music. She can create beats. We also did that together, which is why I think I'm a little tech savvy. Um, mhm. But she had a big heart, of course, right? We say that about most people that actually have big hearts. Uh, but yeah, she was loyal. She was a loyal ass woman. Would you change your last conversation or last words with them? I don't remember my last words to my grandmother. I know it was some type of phone call and probably was just me checking on her. I wouldn't change that. Um, and would I change my last words with my sister? No. Our last conversation, she was in the hospital and I just was calling to check on her. I wouldn't change any last words. I don't remember last words of other people who passed, but I wouldn't change them at all. Things happen the way they're supposed to. Conversations go the way they're supposed to. I wouldn't change a thing. Um, oh, this is my favorite question. If you could use food or meal to describe what they meant to you, what food would it be? I feel like for my grandmother, it would be neck bones, potatoes, neck bones and potatoes. Hearty, so touching, flavorful. Mm. You got to get up in the grit to understand her. Uh, and with my sister, I think it'll be a lasagna because she was definitely layered and multifaceted. Um, Definitely be a lasagna. Yeah. In moments of doubt, what do I tell myself to keep going? Literally, keep going. Keep going. You got your ancestors on your back. You got people looking up to you that are counting on you. And you got goals to reach, nigga. So don't let nobody stop you. Don't let nobody get in your way. And keep smiling, stay happy so that whatever you want throughout this life can actually happen. And do the people right that you can do right. But you're not perfect. Because I'll be fucking shit up. Damn, this one long. What has surprised you the most about yourself on this journey? I'm still here. That's what I'm surprised about. Because Lord knows I prayed to not be here. And that sounds crazy, but I'm still here. So it's meant for me to be doing something out here in these streets. Um, and I keep going every day, thinking about these folks, putting them on my back. They come to work with me. They call me when it's time to cuss somebody out. They call me when it's time to love somebody. They call me when I'm on a walk, when I'm on a bike ride. Yeah, I'm still the fuck here. Hmm. Oh gosh. What has this taught you so far about grief, love, and responsibility? That it's not the end of grief, love, or responsibility. Nothing stops, everything continues. It will happen again to someone else you love unless you go first. Um, but honestly, it might have closed me off to grief and love. Responsibility, I'm finally getting that back because I was closed off from being a responsible adult. Um, yeah, it kind of makes you scared to love other folks. You kind of want to keep your distance because somebody's gonna go. Um, in grief, I've become very okay with it. I just accept it. And I'm aware that you could be here today and gone tomorrow, or you could be here now and gone later. So they say treat every day as like your last and keep those that you love close to you and blah, blah, blah. Have you found meaning in their transition? Uh, my grandmother lived, that's the meaning in her transition. She lived life, like she lived old, she gossiped, she made you laugh, she loved family. So I don't know if there's like a full meaning or like anything deep behind her transition because I mean she was old. She was 91 or 92 when she passed. So what more can you ask for? You keep her here to 200. Um, and with my sister, you got to be aware that life is precious. You got to be aware that of life stressors, and you got to be aware of what's happening in your body, and you got to be aware that you can actually take your own self out on accident or on purpose. Uh, so you need to take care of your mental space. And if for some odd reason I do end up like on dialysis, like she was, don't let it take over my life, which it does. So you have to figure out how to handle that and just do right. Treat your body right, you know, and don't have stressors that allow you to not treat your body right. That's what I would say. One more. Were you happy with the funeral arrangements? Yes and no. It was my first funeral that I was involved in arranging, and we forgot to put all those goddamn flowers in the front. That's the only thing. But was I happy with it? Yes. I do wish that the people she touched in Atlanta could have been there uh, because we spent 10 years of our life here. But instead, it was people that she grew up with and touched in Connecticut. And I wish those that would could have been a combination. Um, and we didn't allow the funeral to go live on Facebook either. So looking back, maybe that's something that I would have did differently. I hope you enjoyed this random segment of How You Grievin'. Remember, new episodes every Sunday at 11:17 or later, but normally 11:17.
People got places to go. You got to keep going.
You got to keep going. That is the moral to this. You got to keep going, just like Marta here in Atlanta. It keeps going, north and south. Bye, y'all. How you grieving?